Hello! A new video is in the works, a critical analysis of Godzilla, King of the Monsters. And as you can probably tell from the title of this video, it's quite the positive analysis. Once completed, the video will go up as planned, but it's taking longer to put together than I originally estimated. A lot longer. So, I've decided to release the video in sections. This will provide my viewers with content, will hopefully keep the channel alive during the editing process, and will prime everyone as to what to expect from the full video prior to release. Keep in mind that these were meant to be part of a single whole, so there will be incomplete analyses and a lack of conclusions in some parts. Once the full video is out, there will be follow-up videos inspired by it, including another Godzilla vs. Kong analysis. Yay! And one last thing. This introduction will be at the start of each video, so if you want to skip it next time, slide on over to this time here. Right, all that said, I hope you enjoy this section of what will become Godzilla, King of the Monsters. A great joy. Godzilla, King of the Monsters is a great film. No ifs, no buts. On the aesthetic side, it has great visuals that are straight out of Renaissance paintings, monster designs which are truly epic and awe-inspiring, and titanic battles the likes of which we've never seen before, at the very least not from such an immersive angle. The music is great, from reincarnations of old tunes to reworkings of 2014 tracks to tone-setting originals. This is especially noteworthy in a film filled with giant monsters that often drown out all other noises with their own magnificent and tone-setting voices. King of the Monsters doesn't just use sound to good effect. Strong colours are used to represent who and what we're looking at. Godzilla and Monarch are represented by blue, the government and the military green. Mothra is a shade of turquoise, a mix of green and blue to represent her connection between the two parties. Red is initially associated with Rodan and his fiery temper, but as the film goes on, this associative tone is applied to the other monsters, climactically so with Godzilla. This sharing of colours by association can be seen elsewhere, especially in Ghidorah's threatening yellow. In Antarctica, the scene is shaded majoritively in dark blue, Monarch's colours, but shadowed in troubled moods. This is then slashed by flashes of yellow lightning to represent Ghidorah's violent intrusion on the world. This yellow lighting appears in other scenes as events begin to spiral out of control. The colours are all-encompassing in some scenes but are rarely overbearing, using perfectly natural sources to justify their being. It's a nice background detail that's not only informative but provides a more fantastical feel to events, something the film uses to mark a difference between the normal world and the monstrous. But what about the characters of King of the Monsters? The characters are, well, characterful. From G-Team, whose time in the film is brief but hearty, to Serizawa, who is the unwavering moral rock upon which the film balances. From the small characters like Mr. Science Man, whose uncapped enthusiasm and innocence is perfect for introducing the dark and zealous Jonah, to Forrester's straightforward, no-nonsense approach to everything, an approach that makes her fear in the face of Ghidorah all the more marked. Even Chen and Stanton have their own little back and forth throughout the film.
After it cocoons, something else is gonna crawl out. Something meaner.
We don't know that, Rick.
Oh, wait for it, Chen.
I knew it, man! I was right, I told you, Ken!
Shut up, Rick.
What about Mo, Larry, and Curly over here?
Godzilla will bring balance.
Well, Serizawa, let him fight action. Good thing he's on our side.
For now.
Then we have the Russells, whose very character arcs shape events. Mark and Emma Russell are two sides of the same coin, the emotional father and the objective mother, who slowly meet in the middle as the film comes to a close. Mark Russell is emotionally complicated. Initially comes off as an angry man who hates Titans because, well, he is and does, but who can't help but lend a hand when the situation arises.
I want him dead more than anybody, but unless this is a fight that you know that you can win, for God's sake, stand down.
Martinez! We're gonna need immediate mid-air retrieval.
Hangar doors are unresponsive.
All right, which way to the hangar?
Their behavior has become random, erratic.
If I may, sir, as amazing as this sounds, they're moving like a pack.
Reminds me of someone else.
I don't mean to make things difficult. If I see a situation pointed south, I can't ignore it.
This need to help people is fueled by his own lack of self-worth, brought on by his failure to save his son, and how his daughter saw him afterwards. This fundamental driving force sees him through to the very end of the film, where he gets his redemption after finding and saving his daughter. Conversely, Emma tries to keep her emotions to herself, coming off as more controlled to everyone else, and especially cold when revealing her plan to Monarch. Yet beneath the attempt at a cold exterior lies a turmoil of emotions. Betwixt the two, Madison is seen as a trophy for the parents to fight over, but in reality combines the positive traits of both, and is as strong-willed as either. And despite her parents' best efforts, it's her actions that spark the necessary change to eventually bring her family back together. Both Mark and Emma hold strong beliefs that, during the events of the film, they learn are severely flawed. Both mother and father learn to be more like the other, more in tune with one another, like they were before they lost their son. It's just a shame they do so under these circumstances, and with so little time left together. Most of the rest of the characters in this film stay static, a strong foundation on which to build up the Russells and the Titans. But there's another character arc I haven't spoken of, one that may have passed us all by. This one is between Mark Russell and Sam Coleman. They meet under difficult circumstances and immediately get off on the wrong foot, with Coleman being awkward and Mark belligerent.
Who is he?
This negativity continues on for a good portion of the film.
Excuse me? Sounds like a duck hunt to me.
Mark, why don't we let Colonel Foster
A
finish?
decoy, a diversion. I mean, I've got an ex-wife and a daughter out there, in case you forgot. All right, which way to the hangar?
I can show you.
Anybody else?
In all these instances, Coleman is trying to make good after his terrible introduction at the cabin. There's even a shot of Coleman in the background during Emma's speech, where he appears to be thinking of calming Mark down. But things finally change when Mark goes to leave Monarch to find Madison. It is Coleman who tries to bring Mark to his senses, who sees Mark at his lowest and understands. From then on, we see a change in Mark's attitude towards Coleman.
Good luck.
Thanks, Sam. We'll need it. Let's make him proud and not screw this up. Sam, what we got going on?
It's nothing major, it doesn't even affect the plot in any significant way I can tell, but there it is, a little sub-character arc taking place amongst everything else. But this is only one half of the characters in the film. Godzilla is king of the monsters and enforcer of nature's balance. He is the benevolent guardian protecting the world, facing down those that would upset it. Though he sometimes seems uncanny in his methods, the destruction he causes is far less than the obliteration his enemies would bring. Outside of these battles, he takes care with the tiny ones who surround him, even attempting to warn them of danger as best he can, for they do not know his sons. Like Serizawa, his character carries over well from 2014, and like his human counterpart, he is the foundation of the film, solid and unwavering even in the face of death. When it comes to benevolence, however, Mothra takes the cake, despite her relatively short time in the film. She is the queen of the monsters and an embodiment of motherly love. From the moment she births to her very end, Mothra is presented as caring and just. Even during her moments of apparent violence, she is hesitant to harm. Despite her rude awakening, when the threat is over, she is back to her caring, curious self. So gentle is she is even willing to interact with the little humans before her. Her emergence from her cocoon later is peaceful and awe-inspiring, far more like her natural self. Fully formed, she is a clearer of storms, a guiding light, and not a bad tag team partner when things get rough. Ultimately, she is a protector to the end, more so even than Godzilla, for she knows her legacy will not end with her. She lives for others, she dies for others. Rodan is as fiery and temperamental as the volcano from which he emerges. At first calm, he is off on the hunt at the drop of a hat, tearing apart his prey as with glee. But his savagery in chasing these smaller prey belies his yellow streak. He balks at Ghidra's arrival, and despite his attempt at defending his territory, he ultimately cowers before his superior when bested. In the final battle, he surprise attacks Mothra, yet again a smaller adversary for him to dominate, only to crumple to the ground when wounded, a wound that he didn't even seem to notice later when he, once again, submitted to a superior creature. Rodan's arrogance is his downfall, but he is still a force of nature to be reckoned with. Last but certainly not least, we have Monster Zero, Ghidra, the one who is many. He is a dragon of legend, a Lovecraftian horror brought to life, an embodiment of fear, his sole purpose to destroy and dominate. It is possible to describe Ghidra as one being, malicious and destructive even when there's no need for either, but he can easily be split into three: Ni, Ichi, and Kevin. Ichi is in the middle and the dominant head, often rising above the rest and commanding the others when needed. Ni is on the right, low, sullen and conniving. He is the subordinate, following the lead of the middle head swiftly. And then we have Kevin. He is a curious fellow who gets distracted easily. When things go down, he usually needs coaxing, if only to pay attention, sometimes for more than that. But his curiosity can sometimes pay off and save all three of them a nasty turn. When the chips are down, all three work together to become death on the wind, a golden apocalypse. It is this combined hateful focus that, quite literally, leads them to their downfall. Titans or humans, the characterization in King of the Monsters is unquestionably well done, which only makes everything else the film has to offer all the more amazing. Thank you for watching this part of Godzilla King of the Monsters, a great joy. Videos will follow on a, hopefully, regular basis until the video is out, so look forward to those. Whilst you're waiting, why not visit my Etsy store and peruse some esoteric pendants, link in the description. Feel free to do all the YouTube stuffs and leave a comment if you have one. Who knows, maybe you'll have an effect on the finished video before it's released. Once again, thank you for watching.